So I wanted to make this video about a variety of topics, just four that I happen to have on hand here. I happen to see the stories about. First one is from Bounding into Comics. I guess Tom King, the Rorschach writer, the former Batman writer, the guy that sucks, writing Batman. His Batman was fucking terrible. But anyway, apparently, you know, this is where I guess you have the Neil deGrasse Tyson. We got a badass over here picture because Awesome Con, because he was at Awesome Con and claims that he cussed out some guy who wasn't wearing a mask there, who was in line to get his, who cut the line basically to get his stuff signed. Anyway, the headline here: Awesome Con reportedly claims that there have been no incidents after DC Comics writer Tom King boasts of cussing out and having fan removed over lack of mask. He had went on a tweet storm and was talking about, here it is. You think I swear a lot in comics? You should see me in person. After an impolite talking to, Rorschach was escorted from the con. Wear your mask. We're not fucking around. Now with some, cosplayer, like I said. And he goes on and talks more. And basically, like I said, he's on a tweet storm. At one point he even sits there and says that, that the people from the con had asked him to put on a mask. He ignored him and walked up to the booth. Cutting the line, dude came up to us. We told him he had the mask before talking to us. He seemed confused by it, put on a thin Rorschach mask, but didn't seem to know how to put it on. It was tangled. He says we asked him to step back from the booth while he figured out his mask. He didn't move. We asked him again, didn't move. At this point, I sent some language his way, no regrets. He finally woke up a bit. Then he took a step back and put on his shit. He said he handed us 2 books. We signed them quickly. We didn't want him in our line with that mask. So I was like, okay, so if this guy, you cussed him out because he's not wearing a mask. He's apparently too stupid to know how to even put his mask on, which is bullshit. But you signed his shit anyway? It's like, come on, dude. And then, of course, he said, oh, well, the kind people helping us at the con, as they are obligated to do, reported this behavior to the con management, and dude was removed for violating the con and the district's policy. And, this is where the article says, interestingly, there are several discrepancies between King's follow-up explanation and his initial insertion. Most notably, that the fan not only put on a Rorschach mask when asked by King, but that he also removed it after he was already leaving the creative team's booth. It appears as if King was fucking around at least a little bit by his own assertion, and despite the fact that the author claimed that the fan had cut the line, he still signed 2 books for his purported enemy. Anyway, fucking ridiculous. Anyway, Purge reached out to the con, and they told him that the con is running smoothly. People are complying with the rules and having a good time. No incidents, but people should reach out for themselves. That's what Purge is saying. So this is bullshit. The guy's trying to come off like a badass. Whatever. The next story is about Jungle Cruise. It undermined its beautiful gay coming out moment with crass jokes. Apparently this was published 6 days ago. I don't know. It's on archive. Somebody put it up on archive. I wouldn't want to give Screen Rant a fucking click. Fuck them. But anyway, I guess apparently I haven't seen the movie. It looks like a fine, kids movie, but it's like, it's not really my thing. Maybe I'll watch. I ain't going out to the theaters, pay a bunch of money to watch the friggin' thing. Even though I actually like Emily Blunt and I like The Rock and stuff. But anyway, apparently there's a character in there named McGregor, who's played by Jack Whitehall, which apparently this guy says is controversial casting, who comes out as gay, even though he never uses the word gay, and instead admits that his interests lie happily elsewhere. Then this guy bitches about, I guess, some of the jokes. It was quickly overshadowed by a later scene filled with thinly disguised gay jokes and sexual innuendo. Gay panic is basically what the guy's talking about. Because there's a scene, apparently, from what the article's saying, that, Frank, which is The Rock, he got stabbed in the chest with a sword. And they asked him if he wanted to bite down on his stick to stifle his screams. And which Frank Hurley said no, and on and on and on, and there's stuff. And the guy tries to draw correlations between, Dwayne Johnson he's the ultimate man's man, compared to the slender, weak, and frivolous McGregor. The gay panic jokes in turn were made to solidify Frank's hetero-masculine status while whittling McGregor's sexuality down to a punchline. Just the usual kind of bullshit. It's like, come on, dude. Is it really gonna be that bad? I mean, I haven't seen the movie for myself, so maybe the guy's right, but it's from Screen Rant, so it's probably crap. It's probably garbage. Moving on now, this is from Newsweek. Mayim Bialik faces calls a step down as Jeopardy host after Mike Richards' departure. Basically, Mike Richards got canceled, even though he's going to remain as the executive producer. He's not going to be the host, which is like, what the hell is that? But whatever. It's kind of weird. But for old jokes he had made back on like a podcast years and years ago. Well, this guy's wanting Mayim Bialik to step aside because she's purportedly an anti-vaxxer, even though she got the COVID vaccine and gotten her kids the vaccine. But she's made comments in the past about not wanting to give her, get her kids vaccinated for other things and stuff. And then also, because she had once wrote an article about basically saying that, I mean, they'll mention it later down in the page, but basically mention something about, well, she dresses modestly, and she doesn't like flirt with men, and she keeps everything very private. And of course, they assumed that she's victim blaming and all that kind of shit. And basically, the guy, he even says at some point that he also echoed the sentiment felt by a huge sector of fans that actor, children's television host LeVar Burton should take over the position. LeVar Burton's episodes were apparently the lowest rated of all the Jeopardies. All the Jeopardy guest episodes. Now, at the same time, Ken Jennings apparently had the best ratings. And Ken Jennings doesn't have fucking charisma for anything. I mean, the guy's like a piece of wet cardboard. But, I hadn't seen his episodes. I don't really watch Jeopardy. So, I have no say in who the host is. I've watched it before, of course. I mean, who hasn't watched at least a couple episodes? But I'm not going to be sitting here every day watching the newest episode. So, it's like, don't listen to what I got to say about it, because I ain't a big fan. But at the same time, it's like you got all these huge sector of fans, wanting LeVar Burton, when it's like, then watch his friggin' episodes, you idiots. If you want him to be the host, watch the episodes when he was hosting. But anyway, of course, we know the real reason they want him. But then they have some people here talking. Keep in mind that Mayim Bialik spreads vaccine doubt and hawks brain quackery and stuff. And then they also show, it's kind of funny. This is where they're talking about some of our stuff. But you got people here who are getting ratioed, and they're showing these tweets. That was what you're talking about with the dress modestly and all that shit. But anyway, well, here's a guy. He got ratioed, but they're putting his damn tweet right in there. It's like 8 likes, 13 comments. That's a ratio, folks. Here's another one. Oh, well, that one actually had 11 likes and 10 tweets, or 10 responses. So not quite a ratio, but that ain't exactly very good. Here's one. 3 likes. 3 likes. You're going to show this friggin' tweet. Got 3 likes. 6 people are responding. Or 6 responses, I guess. It's like, what the hell, dude? Don't you have anything fucking better to do? Or you don't have any other better evidence, I should say, than to show some guys who've been ratioed? Anyway, moving on to the next. This is from Bounding into Comics again. It's talking about Shang-Chi star claims Marvel film will change the world. Finally give audiences an aspirational Asian character. And it's Simu and stuff. And this is the same shit that Brie Larson was saying before Captain Marvel. We'll finally get a female superhero. We'll finally get a female lead character in an action movie. And all that shit. It's like, dude, there has been aspirational Asian characters to look up to for a long time. What the hell are you talking about? And I understand at the same time he's probably been given a list of things to talk about. We've been celebrating a lot of firsts in our community. When Crazy Rich Asians came out 3 years ago, we celebrated that as the first studio movie with a predominantly Asian cast in almost 25 years. So doesn't that tell you that this shit's happened before? Jesus. It's like we're celebrating seconds and thirds and fourths and fifths, so I'll take this moment for what it is. It is absolutely that watershed moment. It's like, dude, now look, most of the people I know say that this movie looks bad. They don't care for it based on the trailer. You know, they're like not very interesting, and they don't like the action and so on and so forth. I think the movie is okay looking from the trailers. I don't know what it'll actually be like, but I think it looks okay. It's not great by any stretch of the imagination. It doesn't look great, but would I rather watch it or the Eternals? I'd rather watch Shang-Chi, I think. But at the same time, I'd probably not watch either of them, you know. But I think this movie's not going to do well at the box office because of this tired ass bullshit. These messages about, oh, we're finally giving you an aspirational character and all this bullshit. And it's like, man, get the hell out of here. Whoops. You know, and separate, you know, in a separate interview with Total Film magazine, he asserted that they would finally give younger Asian audiences something that the actor himself was supposedly devoid of in his childhood, an aspirational Asian hero. And it's like, dude, when they make these kinds of assertions and stuff, it's it's offensive to what came before them. It's like you don't know your history. You know, and as the article brings up, you know, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Shokushigi were wildly popular in the United States by the time the actor was born in 1989. But anyway, you know, there's a poster for Enter the Dragon from '73. Hey, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. I'm so sick and tired of these people. Well, this is the first blah blah blah. You know, we'll fill in the blank. It's first woman, first black character, first Asian character, first whatever. It's like, dude, if it's a good movie, you don't have to stand on that crap. You don't have to make. You also, it's also stupid when you make stuff up. You know, to act as if this is the first time that we're getting an aspirational Asian character and all that bullshit. It's like, dude, that's offensive to this what came before you. Learn your history, know your history. You know, I'm not saying to come out and say it's all sunshine and rainbows, but Jesus Christ, you know, how about a little respect for what come before you? Anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you very much for watching and have a good one.